Good afternoon, everybody. It's Saturday, October 8th. We have two major astrological transits happening this weekend. The first is Pluto stationing direct at around 26 degrees of Capricorn. This will be in effect Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And we have the full moon culminating tomorrow, Sunday, at 17 degrees Aries. These are both very important events. The full moon, let's talk about the full moon in Aries first. Full moons bring things to light. Aries is a very dynamic sign. It's an action-oriented sign. This polarity of the new moon, the sun is going to be in Libra, the moon is in Aries. The moon is reflecting the light of the sun, so it's highlighting the sign of Aries and how it has to bounce the Libra energy. So this is a lot about energy taking to bounce our relationships, to bounce our idea about money too. Venus represents money from the Taurus aspect. This is a very benefic new full moon because the planet Venus is traveling very closely to the sun in tight conjunction, and the planet Jupiter is co-present with the moon. So things coming to light this weekend that might be a little more challenging about relationships will be able to be dealt with in more psychologically complex ways in order to get to the bottom of things. And that's where the Pluto station will help out, because Pluto stationing direct uncovers psychological complexes that have been hanging us up and now have to see the light of day and start to transform. Pluto comes from the underworld. It's been retrograde for a long time. It's been traveling down Hades. Now it's time for him to come up. It's time for Persephone to come up from underground and join her mother again. It's time to awaken to those complexes in order to solve them, to regenerate them, to transform them in some way. And the full moon brings to light all the relationship issues that are going on. This is an action-oriented full moon. It's going to prompt you to move forward in some way in your life. We've been in a kind of stagnant mode, and this full moon will kind of knock us out of it as it lights things up, and the Pluto station will slowly bring us out of it too. Pluto's a little relentless here. He or she, Pluto's very feminine energy, really. It's moving forward and asking us to uncover our psychological patterns and our karma and let go of things and things that have to die over the course of the next few months. Pluto is transiting through the last degrees of Capricorn. What structures in our life need to die and be destroyed in order to grow stronger? The things that will stand the test of time will last. Those that won't will die. And those that are good maybe need to be restructured in some way. So Pluto will have that regenerative energy I talked about. It's like a detective. He's been doing the detective work, and now you have to put it to use here and solve the problems. You should have some answers coming up. There's a lot about this weekend that can bring up in relationships things about secrets or triangularizations or obsessions or addictions, and that stuff can come to light too. But again, because of the benefic planets shining their light on this lunation, this can be a more, I want to say it could be a fun weekend for people, especially sexually. And I don't want to say it'll be fun for everybody, but it will soften the blow, so to speak. So there'll be more compassion and grace and understanding and an ability to listen, because Mars and Pluto will be in very good aspect during this lunation. So that will be listening very deeply and speaking from the heart with a lot of passion and a lot of depth and a lot of power. So make good use of this. It's recalibrate your relationships. We're moving into eclipse season. So this lunation, this full moon lunation is the entryway into the eclipses. So the next 6 weeks are going to start to heat up and get a little more intense and a little more chaotic and a little bit more like we're drinking a lot of coffee. And the next eclipse is going to be is in the sign of Scorpio, which is ruled by Mars. This lunation is in Aries, which is ruled by Mars. And Mars is about to go retrograde. So there's a lot of Martian energy in the air. So even though the full moon is bringing things to light and we're moving forward with the Pluto station direct, Mars is going to start to go retrograde. So he's going to ask us to collect more information from the underground. He's going to demand taking action and returning and reviewing the past to collect more information and facts about what needs to stay and what needs to go. We have to rethink our course of action over the next few months. Because Pluto is winding up its sojourn in Capricorn, you're going to see a lot of things in the news changing. It's interesting, Don Lemon just made an announcement that he's leaving the night show on CNN and moving to the morning show. So this is a death and a rebirth for him, so to speak, which is a very Plutonian concept. It's very good to see what's happening in the news. There's a lot of talk of nuclear energy, nuclear power in the news with the war in Ukraine, and is somebody going to drop a bomb, nuclear threats and stuff like that. That's the Pluto station. That's the dark side of the underworld coming up. And is it going to kill us and like the boogeyman? And is it going to terrorize us? Or are we going to transform this energy into something greater? What are we going to do with our power? How are you going to use your power appropriately? Are you going to manipulate and threaten and kill and murder people with violence? Or are you going to use your power to influence people, to merge with people, mergers and acquisitions, bring your power to the table and collaborate with others and trust with others and psychologically get involved with others so that we can deepen a connection, connecting all people. You know, Pluto will be going to Aquarius eventually. I don't want to even go into what all that will mean, but you know, the beginning of Pluto entering a sign is usually a breakdown of some kind. But it's winding up its sojourn in Capricorn. So continue to see in the next few months our institutions crumbling and trying to find new ground as they have to get restructured. This will continue to play out. Look for the support from others in your life. Look to the people who are loyal to you, the ones who stay there, the ones who are there for you. The one thing I will say about the Pluto return of the United States, which is happening, it happens every about 248 years. So the Pluto return of the United States, we had it, the last one was around the 1776, the American Revolution. So we're going through revolutionary times. Could we have another revolutionary war in the next year or two or a couple of years? Who knows? But there is a symbolic revolution going on, whether it's going to be a political revolution, a revolution of the people, a change in our democracy, a change in our two-party system. There is a revolution of some kind going on. It doesn't necessarily have to be another great war. We'll see. You know, I don't have a crystal ball here, but there is a revolution. The break between Capricorn and Aquarius, with Pluto going from Capricorn to Aquarius, is like are we going to stay in the past and the old stuff, or are we going to move into the future? What from the past has to stay and rebuild? What from the past has to die? Some things have to die, other things have to just die a little bit, rebuild, and how are we going to move into the future? What are we keeping from the past going into the future? So that's a very important image here too. There's something else I wanted to say about the Titanic. What I wanted is the energetic difference between Capricorn and Aquarius, because Pluto's about to bridge these two signs, is like being caught between two worlds. That's what I wanted to say. The future of the living and the past of the dead. There are questions being asked of what of the past will remain and in what form versus what will die and be annihilated. Will you have the power and the will to survive this continuing evolutionary onslaught? Pluto leaving Capricorn is like the final blow in death and destruction of those institutions and structures that no longer can stand the test of time. It's like the Titanic on her final voyage. The shift of energy is very reminiscent of the Titanic on her final voyage. Those seemingly invincible institutions and structures that have been our bedrock and have been upholding society for hundreds and hundreds of years are being questioned. And many of them will sink into the dark, deep depths of the ocean after having been hit by an iceberg. Not all of them, just the ones that are rotting and decaying and no longer serve our higher good and can no longer survive in the current form. So that's a little bit of the energy that is really going to be pushing into 2023. And it's important to talk about it now because Pluto is stationing direct and moving forward. Enjoy this full moon if you're having fun. Aries can be a very dynamic, outgoing, brave, courageous, assertive sign, partying, high energy, high spirits. If you have a lover, a partner, a spouse, this has happened in the relationship. This is happening in the relationship signs of Aries and Libra. Have fun. Go out. Talk to your partner. Solve problems. Have sex. Party. Entertain. I'll speak to you soon.